Hey guys, this is Joey with Harvesting Strength, and today I'm going to show you guys kind of what it looks like to get a glimpse of how I work individually with someone one on one, especially on the Zoom platform. So, coaching, programming, it's a great tool, allows athletes to connect with a strength coach to guide them because a lot of times these individuals know how to do exercises, but they don't know like which ones to do or what progression to follow. So they kind of need someone to build that format for them. And that's what I do. And I work with people on coaching, programming. And then if you want to upgrade and work more one on one, we do things through Loom and Zoom calls just to kind of get a little bit more in depth with your exercises, your performance, and it helps guide us on a weekly basis on what to do. Because when I work with someone, we'll build the week of the workouts. I'll watch the footage with them. We'll meet on Zoom or we'll create these Loom videos to talk about what went well, what could go better, so that can guide me into the next week of effort. Because you might find out real quick watching a video, they know how to do something, or if they don't, what variation should we use instead? It just keeps us accountable, keeps us on track versus just sending a spreadsheet and not seeing any footage and have no visual aid to the decision making process. So right here, I'm watching this individual. We're going to start off with a bench press video. So it's touch and go. Really good job with the touch point. He's not letting it sink so far in. Honestly, I've had athletes who really sink far on their bench press. It's all just, about I don't know if it's necessarily preference, but style. Because if he likes to sink his bench, there might be variations that I would choose to support that. Or if he's a little bit more of a soft touch guy, there's variations that I would use to support that too. So it looks like he's in the driver's seat. When I say this to clients, typically talk about the fact that he is maintaining control within his movement. He's not letting it go crazy, ballistic, and he's all over the place. He's very controlled, and it does speak volumes about his muscular development and his strength. We're currently in a hypertrophy phase. We're doing lots of reps to build that muscle mass because in the end, mass moves mass. We want to support that. But looking at this video, he does have a great movement with his bench press. His elbows stay inward, which I do enjoy because I think those tight elbows help with pressing power off the chest. So I'm very thankful for his efforts into that. Okay, again, we got another a video of the touch and go. I believe this is the lighter set. But you can tell right here, his march works out really well. I can't see his feet, but, something that I was currently writing about for a specific website was about how to promote better leg drive. And we want to make sure that our legs are flat, or not flat. Our knees are bent, maybe a little bit more open than 90 degrees. Feet are flat. If possible, to increase surface area with the floor. He's trying to push his hips into his upper back. He's trying to retract his scaps to keep his back tight. This whole position is called the power position. And the tighter we make his back, his hips, and his legs, that is a stable force for him to press against. It's kind of resemblant to Newton's laws of motion. And I believe it's the third law that opposing forces can complement each other in this case and in this context. The tighter and stronger his opposing muscle groups are, his active and main muscles are going to be working, are going to feel enhanced as well. So if your back is essentially loose and not as strong and tight, then your chest and your triceps and everything else can't stay tight either. So everything looks great with this setup. Touch point is spot on. He does kind of come back a little bit diagonal, but that's very natural for a bench presser to do that. But yeah, for the most part, we see a lot of success with his bench press. It can be a little tough to judge someone's efforts, especially in this phase, because they just seem like they're killing the reps. But we do really note some of the big issues, especially when they hit fatigue. So I'm hoping that near the end of this set, there's something I can discuss with this client. And I think right here, you guys have noticed it right at the bottom. Let's go backwards a little bit. Sorry about that. Let me go back to the middle. That's what I'm trying to talk about. If you watch his feet, watch his heels, that little white line, come off the floor a little bit. It was very brief, but we talked about bench, the power position, feet are flat. Same thing with squat. We want our feet flat because that gives us a better surface to push off of. If you get the heels off the floor, so like if your heels come off the floor, so like right here, here's the ground. Okay, I'll kind of like disguise it so it kind of looks darker. But if your heels come off, look how much contact you have. Let's say it's like the balls of your feet and your heels are off, maybe 50 or 60% of your foot's on the floor. That means a lot of resistance is happening in the front of the foot. So we're really prioritizing that knee joint, and that can make the movement very hard to accomplish. And if we can get our feet more flat, now we're talking about displacing the weight across the whole foot. And now we're talking about engagement of not just the knee joint, which happens to be the motion in front, but also the hip joint behind. We're now getting to displace weight a little bit more balanced for a valiant effort. But if I go back to the beginning, if you do watch it, it does look like he favors the front of his body quite a bit. Now, there are some athletes who do have this tendency because here's the thing too, he's more upright. He's got this SSB bar going on, and that would, the goal of the SSB bar is it's putting the weight higher on his back. So he's trying to prioritize posture. But what could happen is now, because posture is more upright, his hips might be a little bit more underneath his shoulders, and that forces this femur to slide forward. So his hips can't go back too much. Now his posture is tall. So now instead of the hip maybe being back here more, it's more here. And if the hip joint moves forward 5 inches, so does the knee joint. So now you can see how it looks like he's becoming a little bit more knee dominant in this case. But to fix and aid that, we really want to prioritize ankle mobility. So ankle mobility is just your ability to like lean forward and keep contact on the floor. So imagine your shin being like right here and your foot being here. If your shin leans forward, that's putting a lot of stress on the ankle joint, the calf muscles. And if the calf muscles are too tight, that's where the heels start to come up. So there's something I could talk to this client about is maybe we can try to prioritize foam rolling, stretching of the calf muscle briefly, not long, just to help his ability to keep his feet flat when his ankles and his shins want to move forward a little bit more. But I do praise his upright posture. That's something we really battled with this movement. It's something we want to do just to spare his low back. But yeah, you'll start to see like right here, he starts to lose a little bit of that tightness at the top. But I do want clients to be battle today. I don't want them to always have great form. Now, that does sound like it's disastrous, if that's even a word, but that's not what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is I want to put them in positions where they have to overcome the load, and that is essentially called strength, right? Progressively overloading the body, doing a little bit more than it normally would. That's my goal. I'm trying to put him in positions to where he has to get stronger, so then when we go back into his normal squat, normal bench, normal deadlift, he can be successful. So variation lifts are really key to being successful in powerlifting and strongman and just in general. If I was working with a normal client, and they had bad form on bench, then that makes me think, okay, well, they're not recruiting their pecs properly, their triceps. So then I can find a variation lift that helps prioritize their mechanics. And then we're talking about a better build of strength development and muscle building too. Right here, he does like this incline spoto. It's a close grip. I love this because I always talk about the incline seeming like a misgrooved bench press. It just helps him learn to be stronger in different positions. If you want to get better at bench, you bench press, right? It's specificity, just doing what you need to get better at. But I do want to break specificity just a little bit because I want to be stronger in different positions. That's the point of the incline. The close grip's going to prioritize his elbows, his triceps. The spoto, it's accommodating his soft touch, so he can't really blast it off his chest. But if you watch this right here, he does a great job of keeping his forearms more vertical. If they are slanted back a little bit, that might overload that elbow joint a little bit, so it might not feel good, but it looks like he's doing a great job maintaining that linear movement pattern right here. So lots of things are going really well with this lift. All I would ask him is if we're on a Zoom call, hey, do you feel like your back's staying tight? I would ask him questions like that because, right now his movement looks great, but now I can kind of ask some other questions to get more context into the situation. Are you pinching your shoulder blades? Are they not being pinched? Just things like that to kind of aid a little bit more good feedback. Sometimes when we do videos, the quality doesn't show up very well. So like on this right here, it's tough to see, but I am letting him rest the bar every rep. Looks like it's not rolling away. Looks like it works out pretty good. He's standing tall and he is standing on a platform because he does have high handles. I want to make sure that the lift isn't too easy, and standing on those platforms can increase range of motion. And then right here, let's see. Same video from before for the most part. Again, looks like his forearms are staying vertical and he's doing some great things and whatnot. So thanks for watching this video. Again, I mostly gave him high praise. I did give him some ideas about the ankle mobility, making sure his back is tight on bench press, and I think some other things too. But this is kind of what it looks like to have a chance to work with myself through Harvesting Strength, my business, in coaching, programming, and getting live feedback video calls to aid performance.